What's up, guys? It's KB. Make sure you subscribe to the Underground Sports Philadelphia YouTube channel. Click the bell icon down below so you don't miss a single video from us. And thanks for tuning in to another video from Underground Sports Philadelphia. Now let's get into it.
Philadelphia, baby, you're gonna love it. Best sports fans in the world. Actually, the worst, but that's what makes them the best.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome in to episode number 702 of Underground Sports Philadelphia, presented by the City of Vineland. And guys, it's that time of the year. Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, Happy Kwanzaa, Happy Holidays, or if you don't celebrate anything and you guys are listening to this, Happy Thursday. It's episode 702 of the pod. KB coming at you from Underground Studios, and joining me by way of South Jersey, the one and only Harry the K. Harrison Krementz, back on the pod, but in South Jersey this time.
Hey, I had to leave Indiana to come home for the holidays. You know how big.
You know the vibes.
Yes, sir. We are living it up down here in the good old South Jersey.
It is we're recording this for our what would have been Wednesday recording, but Wednesday fell on Christmas and we're recording it on Thursday, so you get it Thursday night. But happy holidays, everybody, from the Underground family to yours. We got a lot to talk about from the Birds. We'll go around the NFL. The Sixers dunking on some heads and pulling a big-time Christmas Day upset. We'll talk a little Phils. Talk a little Wingies, too, because they're back this weekend for their final game of a road trip. And then we will also have more teasing of the revival of Top Bins, the show, bringing you all the news and notes from around the Premier League, a little Serie A action, and more that will be making its return to the Underground airwaves January 1st, 2025. But before we get into everything, make sure you guys are following us on the socials. Across the board, we're on every single social platform at Underground PHI. Just search Underground Sports Philadelphia. We pop up everywhere. Follow the pod. Subscribe to the pod, Apple, Spotify, wherever you get your podcasts in audio form. Leave a 5-star review. It goes a long way for helping the show continue to grow, helps more people find Underground Sports Philadelphia and our entire catalog of podcasts. And subscribe to the Underground Sports Philadelphia YouTube channel, youtube.com/@Underground Sports Philadelphia. Shout out to my boy Cliff, Off the Cliff Show. He'll be coming on in 2025. We're going to be doing a collab, little crossover show. He does a great job talking about the Sixers. He just hit 1K subscribers right before Christmas. He said, we got next. So that means y'all got to subscribe. We're at 879 subscribers. Let's get to 900. Let's get to 1,000. Subscribe. YouTube.com/@Underground Sports Philadelphia. Leave a like on the video. Drop a comment in the comment section. And of course, click that bell icon so you know whenever new videos go live. And I also just remembered this too, Harrison, because it came in a little late, but we do have right here that we will play during our Eagles segment. We do have a voicemail that you guys can leave us a voicemail, speakpipe.com/Underground Sports Philadelphia. Our voicemail line's open all the dang time. Leave us a voicemail, speakpipe.com/Underground Sports Philadelphia. And this show is proudly presented by the City of Vineland. And the City of Vineland Municipal Calendar features city-organized, city-sponsored, and city-affiliated events that are of public interest. The calendar, which is accessible at vinelandcity.org, is a good way for residents and visitors to build awareness, remain engaged with city government, and participate in local events. You can also follow the City of Vineland on their social media pages, whether it is Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, or YouTube. They are on those platforms, so you can follow the City of Vineland there. And through these tools, you can stay connected to the community and get important announcements about programs and services offered by the city, Vineland, New Jersey, where it's always growing season. A big thank you to Security 21 Security Systems and Paul J. Gillespie Incorporated for their continued support of this podcast.
I'm Mayor Anthony Finucci. If you're looking for the right location, think Vineland, New Jersey. Our pro-business approach is supported by financial incentives, workforce development programs, and other resources which can give your business a competitive edge. Whether you're starting a new business or expanding to new markets, our business environment, infrastructure, accessibility, and quality of life make Vineland an ideal location. More information about how we can help your business grow can be found at vinelandcity.org. Vineland, New Jersey, where it's always growing season.
Harrison, we are gearing up for another Eagles-Cowboys week.
Yep.
Eagles-Cowboys at the link. 1 p.m. start now. It was originally 4:25. Got flexed to 1 p.m., rightfully so. The Cowboys eliminated from playoff contention. Packers-Vikings is going to be a doozy of a game. Kelly Greens, and we don't know who's playing quarterback for the Birds yet.
Yeah, no, it's a little bit scary. Obviously, you hope that Jalen Hurts is healthy at the end of the day, and especially going into playoff time, you want him to be on the top of his game and doing the best he can. And Kenny Pickett, he had a rib injury. We don't know if he's gonna be there, and we just signed Ian Book, so it could be the former Notre Dame guy at the gun for us this week. But I don't think it matters that much because this Cowboys team is not that good.
Yeah, it's tough because you want Jalen Hurts to play. You want him ready to go, going into the postseason. And I know Nick Sirianni met with the media today. I haven't gotten a chance to see if there's any update. So Jalen Hurts was not in practice today. It was Kenny Pickett throwing with Tanner McKee. Ian Rappaport said looking more and more like no Jalen Hurts on Sunday, which is not ideal.
I'm glad Tanner McKee was getting reps, though. He's never shown that he's anything but a, pretty solid backup option.
Yeah, and there's a Twitter doctor, Jesse Morse, who is a board-certified family and sports medicine physician on the tweet machine, said Jalen Hurts is not practicing today since he has not been able to get a limited practice in yet this week. Even if he gets one in tomorrow, he simply doesn't have enough time to fully clear the concussion protocol. You need 1 day in between limited practice and full practice, and teams don't practice on Saturday for a Sunday game. So you'll have Kenny Pickett leading the way potentially on Sunday with Tanner McKee backing him up and Ian Book as the third quarterback as he was signed today. It sucks because you want Jalen healthy so that you're good to go going into the postseason, that you are going to clinch the division, that you're going to wrap up the 2 seed as well. Because if the Eagles clinch the division, more likely than not, unless some unmitigated circumstances happen where the Lions lose out and the Vikings lose their game, like their next game, if they lose to the Packers on Sunday, then the Eagles would get the 1 seed. But I'm fully prepared for the 2 seed. I'm okay with the 2 seed. But if you win one of these last 2 games, you are guaranteed the 2 seed. It just sucks that Jalen, it's not looking good. And this is his first concussion, which is also a positive in terms of just like it's not a recurring thing. But it does suck that, 11 plays into a game on a play where no flag was called. And I don't care what anyone says. Oh, his head hit the ground hard. His head hit the ground because Frankie Louvu's helmet hit his head.
It was a dirty hit. It should have been penalized. It was another situation in which the referees hate seeing Philadelphia succeed.
It was a rough game. My big takeaway from it that I said on Monday's episode, the Commanders needed 36 points to beat Kenny Pickett.
Yeah.
So take that for what you will.
I think Devontae knew that if the Eagles lost that game, would eliminate the Cowboys from playoff contention and
the 49ers.
Yeah. And the hate for both of those teams is stronger than the will to win the division, and I respect that.
And I saw a funny thing, too, is like Devontae dropped it because he wanted the Eagles to clinch the division at home. And we all know Devontae wanted to catch that pass. That is a pass Devontae
Yeah.
Smith catches 99.9% of the time. Also, congratulations to Devontae and his girlfriend. They are expecting baby number 2.
Oh, awesome. Good for them.
So that, to me, is also on Sunday. Devontae Smith bounce back game.
Yeah.
He's going to run it up. He's going to score. He's going to have that new dad strength. So
you know who else is going to have a ridiculous Sunday? Mr. Saquon Barkley, who had a great week last week.
But you could also tell, and I said this on Monday's episode, you could tell when Kenny Pickett came in, the run game changed exponentially. And I think part of that, too, was that Kellen Moore had to know how to adjust, and he just did not adjust the offense for it to be Kenny Pickett in the game. But now that they have a full week kind of under their belts, sort of preparing for Kenny Pickett to play, I think that will help. And I know we both know the Cowboys are not good, but don't look now. The Cowboys have been kind of on a tear since they last played the Eagles. They obviously got shit pumped by the Texans on November 18th. But since then, they've won 5 in a row. Or 4 of their last 5, I'm sorry, because they lost that game to the Bengals on the Simpsons broadcast. But they beat the Commanders in that crazy, wild turn of events game in Washington. They beat the Giants. They lost to the Bengals. They beat the Panthers. And then they squeaked by the Buccaneers on Sunday. Not that they're a good team. Like, they are so clearly well below what they probably expected coming into the season from them. They're playing good football. I'll give them that. I will give them credit. Like, Cooper Rush has found a stride for himself, but also on the flip side, the Eagles seem to be Cooper Rush's like kryptonite. Whenever he plays the Eagles, he kind of like shits down his leg. The defense is going to be so pivotal in this game. And the people that were talking about the defense in the game against the Commanders, let's not lose sight of the fact that the offense was stalled so much as soon as Kenny Pickett came into the game. Sure, he made some nice throws. Saquon had a couple runs here and there, but they were not moving the ball like they were in the first quarter when they put up 21 points. The offense stalled. The number of 3-and-outs that happened were absurd, and the defense was on the field far longer than they have been in any game this year. And the other part of that, too, was the special teams, and I didn't get to touch on this on Monday. The special teams was dog shit. And by special teams, I mean the kickoffs, the punts. Braden Mann had his worst game in an Eagles uniform, in my opinion, against the Commanders.
I was lucky enough to not catch that because I was at work that week, and I couldn't get the service or the game out in Indiana. But I caught the highlights, and man, it just looked bad.
Braden Mann was awful. And here's how you know. Here's how you know he was bad. So many people, real ball knowers, knew that Braden Mann has been doing the kickoffs all season long. So many people were stunned to see that Braden Mann was doing the kickoffs in the game against the Commanders that they did not realize that it was not Jake Elliott, which I have a take. Are you ready for this? I haven't put this on the airwaves. I brought it up to my dad, and he said, you might be onto something. Jake Elliott was doing the kickoffs last year. Right, and he's done kickoffs for a very long time for the Eagles. Not doing the kickoffs this year. Braden Mann has handled those duties on the kickoffs. Is Jake Elliott not doing the kickoffs stunting his ability to kick 50-plus yard field goals?
Oh.
Now, I know that sounds very tinfoil hatty, but the fact that he's not taking the kickoffs for the Eagles and has struggled with kicks 50-plus yards. Obviously, he made the 150-yarder against the Commanders. But has struggled 50-plus all year. That 50-yarder he made was his first 50-plus yard field goal of the season. He's not getting the distance type of kicks from the kickoff attempts, and I feel like he's not in a zone because he's not having to boot the ball as far. So his follow-throughs are not equipped for distances this season. Now, this could be complete malarkey, and I could sound like an idiot, but it's something I took notice of after that game, and I was like, Jake Elliott has been doing kickoffs all year.
Yeah.
Jake Elliott has not made 50-plus yard field goals all year until that 50-yarder.
Yeah, I like that take.
Coincidence? I think not.
I genuinely think that it could be the reason he's missing out because, again, he's got the accuracy down. It's not like he's missing him like
a 56-yarder was down the middle. It was short.
Yep.
He's missed a couple kicks like left in a few games earlier when he missed those. They went left, but
that stems from the yips due to him not getting the kicking attempts.
I feel like there's some sort of correlation there, and I could sound crazy, but it feels like there's something there.
Because when you're doing kickoffs, you're keeping your leg warm the entire game.
Right.
Meanwhile, if you're just doing the field goals and the extra point attempts, you don't know how long in between kicks you could have, and that significantly cools your leg down.
Right.
So.
As somebody who attempted to be a high school kicker, granted it's not NFL level, but as somebody who also grew up playing soccer his entire life and was afforded the opportunity to kick, but didn't know when kicking tryouts were, so he was still wearing his skill position player cleats and did not have soccer cleats to kick in to be fully equipped to take the job. I also could not follow through because my ankle was covered by my LaDainian Tomlinson cleats that I was wearing to be a skill position player as well.
LT cleats, hell yeah.
The LT cleats with the color swatch changing that I could change the Nike swoosh to any.
Yeah, oh my God. They don't make cleats like they used to, man.
No. I do think there's some sort of thing to that, and it could be me just like overanalyzing Jake Elliott just having a weird year and kickers in general this year having weird years. But
kickers in general have fallen off of a cliff.
It's very strange that in the first year Jake Elliott's not doing kickoff duties, his 50-plus yard field goal magic has disappeared.
There's definitely correlation there. And I mean, considering that other kickers around the league have fallen off as well, I'm not too worried about it, but let's throw him back on kickoffs. It's not going to hurt.
I believe NBC Sports Philly put a banner alert out about the kickoffs today that Michael King was talking about something here about potentially changing it up. I don't know if they are. Michael Clay hinted they're mulling kickoff change after the debacle against the Commanders. Michael Clay didn't even wait until anybody asked a question about kickoffs and kickoff coverage. At his weekly media chat Tuesday, the Eagles special teams coach addressed it before he even took questions, and he hinted that the Eagles may be considering a change to try and prevent what happened Sunday in the loss to the Commanders. Quote, "We didn't play well enough special teams wise, especially in the coverage phase, primarily on kickoff coverage. We put our defense in terrible situations. Starting off the game with a penalty, not what our standard is, and then coming back and letting them have a big return. Overall, wasn't up to our standard. We put our defense in a bad spot. Kudos to Vic and the defense for getting some turnovers right after those bad spots, but we've got to be better, especially as we're ending the regular season and getting into playoff football time mode, especially going against Dallas. We all know Kevontae Turbin, who can be an X factor in this game if you're not good on kickoffs, is a dangerous returner, but not up to our standards when we played against Washington. Braden Mann's 8 kicks against the Commanders averaged just 55 yards.
Oh,
so they went on average to the Washington 10-yard line.
Yeah, you can't be doing that at the NFL level.
And the Commanders' returners averaged 29.4 yards on the 7 kicks they returned, which means those 7 Washington drives began on average just inside the 40-yard line. I think their average position of start was the 39-yard line, which is just terrible.
And I mean, on that last drive, they started on the 40, the 41?
Yep.
In crunch time with a minute left, and you give them that good starting field position, you had to know it was over.
So Clay does not have the option Clay does have the option of turning to Jake Elliott to kick off. Elliott has had his own issues this year, but Clay said the Eagles also want to make sure they're not overusing Elliott. Yeah, a lot of that has to do with can we preserve Jake going forward? And Braden does have a very strong leg, but it's always a topic of discussion week by week. So again, we may switch it up.
Yeah.
Yeah, Jake Elliott kicked off once this year to open the Giants game, and it was a touchback. And Braden Mann has 56 touchbacks on 84 kickoffs, but just 5 on 18 kickoffs in the last 3 games.
Yeah.
Which you could also tell, like, his punts were not that great in the game either. And
maybe he was feeling a little under the weather during that game, but I really think that a field goal kicker, and it should be the guy doing the kickoffs, because kicking that kind of ball is so similar to the kickoff, whereas punting is a completely different mechanic.
Yeah. So I do think they should switch back to Jake because I think Jake has the leg to do it, and maybe that unlocks Jake's distance kicking again, which would be fantastic. Before we move forward to more of the Cowboys game, should we listen to this voicemail?
Let's do it.
All right, so here we go. This voicemail is from OG producer Tyler, who was on episode 700 with Polaroid Fade in studio. So here we go. Here is Tyler's voicemail for the people.
I got nothing. Jalen Hurts. Now you see why we like him. Also, the refs suck. Yeah, bye.
Spot on voicemail right there.
Spot on voicemail. Yeah, that is another thing. I think a lot of people did a little bit of learning last Sunday to see how valuable Jalen Hurts is to this Eagles operation on offense.
Oh, what? Our number one quarterback and the guy who might go for 20 and 20 the first time ever if he didn't get injured. You mean to tell me he's valuable?
Shocker.
Shock. I mean, imagine my amazement at finding out that he's actually important to the team.
Insane. We're going to keep talking Eagles, but I do want to talk to you guys about our friends at 47 brand because they are the best. I got some 47 brand products this holiday season. The OG, my dad, got a 47 brand Eagles hat for Christmas this year as well. 47 brand is truly the best in the game. They have everything you need for your favorite sports fan, whether it's baseball, football, basketball, hockey, soccer, college. Their NASCAR collection is just unbelievable. They are truly the best. And if you're looking to shop for your favorite sports fan this holiday season, I know a lot of people, you get gift cards, you get money after the holidays. You want to do a little shopping? Do a 47 brand. Shop for your favorite sports fan and get free shipping on all orders when you use our link in the description and shop with 47 brand. Check out everything they have to offer this holiday season. Use our link and get free shipping on all orders this holiday season and join the 47 family today. Eagles Cowboys, it's always a doozy of a game, and it's one of those games that a lot of people will watch, and that's why I was shocked that it was not flexed to Sunday night. But then as the week rolled on, I realized the Cowboys were already playing Sunday night this past Sunday, so you can't double up there. But a 1 o'clock, the last time, Harrison, that the Eagles played the Cowboys in the 1 o'clock slot, do you know when that was?
Last time we played them in the 1 o'clock slot, was it like 2020?
It was further back than then.
2014.
A little bit more recent. The last time the Eagles and Cowboys played at 1 p.m. Eastern time, December 31st, 2017. The Cowboys were eliminated from the playoffs, and the Eagles had the number 1 seed locked up. Oh, yeah. The Eagles won the Super Bowl that year, too.
Man, that's a nice little homage, or not homage, replica of a good season right there. I mean, we beat the Rams that year. We're down to a backup quarterback in the last 2 games of the season here. Just
Sounds
like
a little familiar.
yeah, as long as it's Jalen Hurts who wins the Super Bowl for us and not Kenny Pickett.
Yeah. Or as I saw
Well,
people
or
call
at the end of the day, as long as we win the Super Bowl, it doesn't matter who the guy at the
someone
helm
called
is.
Kenny Pickett Timu Morgan Wallen.
No, he's Timu Nick Foles.
And the last time the Eagles and Cowboys played at 1 p.m. that wasn't the final week of the regular season. You have to go all the way back to October 20th, 2013. It was week 7.
Wow.
The Chip Kelly era. Lane Johnson's rookie year.
God. I hate even thinking about that guy. Chip.
I have good takes about Chip Kelly. That one was featured in the Graffiti Wall newsletter, which you guys should subscribe to. It will be back this week. Without Chip Kelly, the Eagles don't win the Super Bowl in 2017.
They don't, but at the same time, I just despise everything he did to that team.
But yeah, it's Cowboys week. The numbies are going to be true to roof, and guess who's on the broadcast, Harrison?
Who is that?
They're running it back. It's Joe Davis and Greg Olsen for a second straight week.
Great.
Now, I love Greg Olsen and I love Joe Davis. It's also okay to admit that last week against the Commanders, they had a horrific broadcast. They were
that bad?
So bad. You know, as a broadcaster myself,
yeah,
you're trying to paint the picture of what's going on in the game and tell the story of what has happened throughout the game.
Yeah.
The entire game, they were both talking about the Commanders coming back and how they couldn't believe that they've overcome 5 turnovers and they've overcome being able to get back into the game and everything. And it's like, hey, dipshits, I love both of you. I think you're fantastic at your job. But the fact that you are ignoring time and time again that the Eagles are playing with a backup quarterback for 95% of this game is truly insane to your narrative. And Greg Olsen has been going out sad on Twitter this week, Harrison. He has been crashing out hard. And it was cherry on top by him responding to Dan Orlovsky's tweet saying, Jaden Daniels' tape is as good as Joe Burrow's rookie tape, as good as CJ Stroud's rookie tape. Kid is an absolute star. To which Greg Olsen responded saying, in all caps, stop, Dan. Jalen Hurts got hurt, so stop talking about Jaden.
What? Oh, my God.
Just sad.
Yeah,
I filed that away in the Underground Sports cringe file.
Yeah. Pure cringe.
And I like Greg Olsen. I think Greg Olsen is one of the best analysts we have for game day broadcasts.
And he is. You can clearly tell he's having a fun time every single week on the broadcast.
And I love Joe Davis. I think Joe Davis is one of the best young play-by-play stars in all of sports. They had a bad broadcast. And I just hope that this game against the Cowboys, they don't try to overdo to correct what they were bad in against the Commanders in this game and just over sensationalize every aspect of the game to kind of overcorrect. I hope that's not what they do. I don't expect them to do that, but it was a cringe-worthy week for Greg Olsen after this game. He really cracked by Eagles fans.
Yeah, he needs to get some of the swagger that he had at University of Miami back. You know, when he did the what was that rap group he was part of?
What was that?
The 3rd floor, the 7th floor, whatever.
Yeah.
G-Reg.
But yeah, that hopefully does not happen. But another big thing that happened this week that actually came out this morning from Adam Schefter. The Miami Dolphins are waiving former Pro Bowl edge rusher Shaq Barrett from the reserve retired list today. Barrett can play again this season if he clears waivers on Friday. If another team claims him, then Barrett would be ineligible to play the rest of the season. Quote from Barrett's agent, Drew Rosenhaus: "We appreciate the Dolphins giving Shaq this opportunity to continue his career in the NFL. Hopefully he will pass through waivers and become a free agent so he can play again this season. He's in great shape and would be ready to play immediately." Now, there were rumors early in this season, I think back in like October, like near the trade deadline, that Shaq Barrett's wife was getting a DM from an Eagles fan or from somebody saying that Howie Roseman essentially called the Dolphins and said, what would it take to get Shaq? But you can't trade for a retired player. So they would have had to go through this process earlier in the year for it to happen.
Yeah.
Now, there's also a clip from the summer when Shaq was on Kay Adams' show saying that he would come out of retirement for basically one team, and that was his former team, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, because of everything that the Buccaneers did for Shaq and his family when his daughter tragically passed away, and just being there for the family and doing so much for them. Totally understand.
Yeah.
I think there are 3 teams that make a lot of sense for Shaq Barrett, and they're all in the NFC. And number 1, it's the Buccaneers.
I mean, yeah, for the reasons just stated.
You can't discount that at all. And the Buccaneers are fighting for the division. They're a
Yeah.
playoff team potentially. Makes a lot of sense. The other 2 teams are the Detroit Lions and the Philadelphia Eagles.
Yeah. And we were talking about this beforehand. It would be insane if the Lions didn't have him on their radar.
Yes.
Because that's a player that would elevate an injured as hell defense. And
at a position of need, because Aiden Hutchinson is out. They need an edge rusher. Which also reflects on the Eagles, where Brandon Graham is out and Bryce Huff has been out, and you need an edge rusher. And I think Shaq would fit that perfectly. And it also goes back to the last thing we talked about last week when we were talking about Calais Campbell, another player that I think makes a ton of sense for the Eagles if he were to be waived. So I don't know. Will the Eagles do it? Is it too late in the season for him to fit into the defense?
That's the issue. Like, this defense has been so good all year. Like, last week was their worst game. But these guys have gone through the trenches together and know each other really damn well. So, are they too set in their ways? Is the issue.
Now, I will give you this, Harrison. Okay, let me see the parallels here. So they just missed each other. So I was gonna say, did Fangio and Shaq cross paths when Shaq was with the Broncos? Shaq left the Broncos in 2018. Vic Fangio came to the Broncos in 2019. So they just missed one another, and they just missed one another this year too, where Vic was obviously the defensive coordinator in Miami last year, and that was Shaq's last season with Tampa Bay because he was only on the practice squad or off season with the Dolphins before he announced his retirement. So they just missed each other. But I do feel like Shaq Barrett fits a Vic Fangio style defense.
He does.
And it's not necessarily like you're bringing in like a young player at this time. Like, Shaq Barrett's a veteran. He's 32. He's from Baltimore. So Philly is very close to home. I don't know. It would be an interesting move. It would be an awesome move. And I would love Shaq Barrett on this team. He won a Super Bowl with the Buccaneers and with the Broncos. So you bring in a 2-time Super Bowl champion. You bring in a 2-time Pro Bowler. And a guy who has 59 career sacks and 400 career total tackles. And also knows a thing or two about forcing fumbles. He's got 22 forced fumbles in his career, 5 fumble recoveries.
Yeah. I mean, he's a dog.
lot of fun.
He's a dog. Ain't no other way to put it. That man plays ball.
So it's definitely something we'll be monitoring. come the weekend and seeing if they sign him, he would more than likely be a player that comes in for the playoffs.
Yeah.
So we'll see. It'll be definitely very interesting to see how that shakes out. But I think for the Eagles on Sunday, run the ball, set the tone with the run game, use the tight ends, use Grant Calcaterra, use CJ Uzama, and use the middle of the field. I felt like they on Sunday the Eagles were too pass happy down the field, and every time Kenny Pickett threw the ball, I was like holding my breath, clenching my asshole because I was like, oh my God, please, like, don't fuck this up, don't fuck this up, don't fuck this up. And you just got to be smarter with your decision making. And
run them way more checkdowns this week.
And it doesn't even have to be like checkdowns, but like 5-yard curl route to a Grant Calcaterra. Use the middle of the field with AJ Brown. Like it's very simple fixes.
Just quick up and out, quick up and ins. And I mean, Saquon's only 200 something yards shy.
He needs to average 134 yards per game these final 2 games,
which he can absolutely do. I mean,
right.
I think he's going to do it. I really think he's going to do it.
Which I say, I know Lamar has been playing well. I know Josh Allen has been playing well. If you gave the MVP to Adrian Peterson when he did not break the record, you have to give it to Saquon if he breaks the record.
Yeah, he's going to be the first 2,000-yard rushing or running back since what? Derrick Henry in 2020?
I believe so.
And the 2K club is pretty elite.
It's Derrick Henry in 2020, Adrian Peterson in 2012, CJ 2K in 2009, Jamal Lewis in 2003, Terrell Davis in 1998, Barry Sanders in 97, Eric Dickerson, who's the record holder, and then O.J. Simpson was the first to do it in 1973.
And that's all that O.J. Simpson is known for ever.
Correct.
Period. Yeah. What post-playing career?
Google O.J. Simpson break for more.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, just be smart in this game. Don't try to do too much. And defensively, just make it a nightmare for Cooper Rush.
Yeah. Get on his ass. And when we beat them with Kenny Pickett, they can't have the excuse, oh, well, we didn't have Dak. We didn't have our starting quarterback. Because we are in the exact same boat there.
And here's the thing, too. You're going to have CJ Gardner-Johnson in this game. It was bullshit that he got thrown out of that game on Sunday. And the people who are bitching and moaning about Reed Blankenship this week, I want to shake them. I want to shake their brains up. Is Reed Blankenship a perfect player? No. Is Reed Blankenship a guy who comes up with some of the most opportunistic and like game-sealing interceptions we have seen over the past couple of years? Yeah. When he made that interception on Sunday against the Commanders, I was like, there it is. He does it again. Because whenever Reed Blankenship gets an interception, it's a game-sealing thing. Like
this was the anomaly.
Right.
I mean,
I believe that interception is a new career high in interceptions for Reed Blankenship in a season.
That would check out.
I think he's got 5 this year.
He's like Edge. He's the ultimate opportunist. We
tweeted from the account, like, Reed Blankenship, like, his nickname should be the closer.
Yeah. I want to see him get an interception and then run off the field and grab like a Money in the Bank briefcase and be like, I'm cashing it in for an Eagles victory right now.
That's literally what his interceptions are. Like, he's got 4 interceptions. It's a new career high. He had 4 interceptions in his career coming into this year.
And the Commanders are driving it down the field. What's this? It's Reed Blankenship. Is he cashing in his Eagles victory check?
Like, he's awesome. And people slandering him and saying he's not good, like, you don't watch ball. Like, is he a coverage safety? No. He's a guy that's a ball hawk. Like, he's supposed to patrol around like a center fielder and make those types of plays. He's not supposed to be a coverage guy every single drive. But that's just me. Like, people who are talking poorly about Reed, like, find a new slant. But yeah, Sunday's game plan, make it a nightmare again for Cooper Rush and just use the tight ends.
Yeah.
Use the tight ends in this game. It will be to your
Please.
benefit because the Cowboys linebackers stink on ice.
Yeah. And no matter how much talking Micah Parsons is going to do this week, it ain't going to matter when we punch him in the face.
Breaking news.
Breaking
news. The Cowboys have ruled out wide receiver CeeDee Lamb for the rest of the season.
Whoa. Did they give a reason?
Let's see. That came in through the Sleeper app. So who posted about it? Let's see.
Wait, let's look into this real quick.
CeeDee Lamb. Due to his shoulder injury.
Okay.
Adam Schefter.
Well, an hour ago, Sports Illustrated produced an article. CeeDee Lamb has proved enough. Time for the Cowboys star to shut it down for the season. So that's some pretty good timing right there.
CeeDee Lamb out, which means your top wide receivers for the Cowboys, Brandon Cooks and
Brandon Cooks does not have a great track record against the Eagles.
Let's see. Jalen Brooks, Jonathan Mingo, and Kevontae Turpin.
And I mean, Turpin is great on the kick return. He's probably the best kick returner.
He's very shifty and they use him well. I'll give them that.
But he if you stack him up against the Eagles wide receivers and the Eagles secondary especially,
and Jalen Tolbert is questionable for this game too. So
is Dowdle should be healthy.
Dowdle's good to go, and Jake Ferguson and Schoonmaker, their tight ends. Those are your receiving options, really.
Yeah.
This should be a unprecedented onslaught of pressure on Cooper Rush.
This better be like 2008 when we won, what was it, 40-6?
44-6.
44-6, yeah.
Like, you can make it a living hell. He's got nobody to throw the ball to. The two people you need to worry about the most are Rico Dowdle and how they use Turpin. And then, obviously, you're going to put Quinyon on Brandon Cooks.
Oh, yeah.
Because Brandon Cooks can beat you if you let him get open. You know, he's one of the most underappreciated wide receivers in modern NFL over the years. You know, you look at just the way he's been thrown around, going from the Saints to the Patriots to the Rams to the Texans to the Cowboys. Like, he's a dude that is good enough to have been able to stick with one team for much longer than he has.
Yeah. And, I mean, he did get thrown around by Malcolm Jenkins in 2018.
Yes. Like,
light him up, buddy.
If he didn't get injured this year, he'd be closing in on 10,000 career receiving yards.
Damn.
Like, when he was in New Orleans, 2015 to 2018, and 2 of those years was New England and the Rams. Like, he had 1,000-yard receiving seasons, had another 1,000-yard 2 1,000-yard receiving seasons in 2 out of his 3 years in Houston. Like, he's a very good wide receiver and somebody that I wish would have been on the Eagles at some point in his career.
And he was a Biletnikoff winner.
Yeah, like, and he's made a name for himself in the NFL. Like, 2014 first-round pick. He's one of those guys that is sneaky younger than it sounds when you say his name. Him and Amari Cooper in that same boat, because Brandon Cooks and Amari Cooper are both the same age. They're 31.
Yeah.
Like, they're my age, but they feel like they've been in the NFL forever.
Like, it feels like they've been around every single, year for the past 50 years.
Literally. So, yeah, big news there. CeeDee Lamb out for the rest of the season, will not play against the Philadelphia Eagles on Sunday at 1 p.m. at Lincoln Financial Field. But, Harrison, should we go around the NFL?
Let's go around the NFL.
We will go around the NFL. It is brought to you by our friends at Paramount Plus. And, Harrison, it's bowl season. It is bowl season. And you know what's coming to Paramount Plus next Tuesday? A little New Year's Eve bowl action.
Yeah.
One of the coolest logos in bowl action. The sun is out in El Paso, Texas on New Year's Eve. The matchup for the 2024 Tony the Tiger Sun Bowl is set. You can catch Louisville going against Washington on Tuesday, December 31st. Coverage starts at 2 p.m. Eastern time on Paramount Plus. My biggest fan, like, I didn't go to a big school like you did where you have a college football team to root for now.
Yeah.
So I do envy that in a sense. But my favorite part about college football is just the essence of what bowl games are. The naming rights, the pomp and circumstance of a bowl game. The Tony the Tiger Sun Bowl is an elite bowl name.
That it is. That it
The
really
logo is awesome. Like, I would wear that logo on a shirt. That is so sick. The Tony the Tiger Sun Bowl in El Paso, Texas. Stream college football on CBS Live and so much more with the Paramount Plus with Showtime plan. Get started today by using our link in the description. Sign up for Paramount Plus. Check out their extensive catalog of TV, shows, movies, and, of course, live sports with the Showtime plan. Stream the Tony the Tiger Sun Bowl on CBS Live on Tuesday, December 31st at 2 p.m. with the Paramount Plus with Showtime plan. Get started today and use our link in the description to sign up for Paramount Plus so you don't miss out on any of the bowl action this season. We've got some fun games, Harrison, this week.
Yeah.
A lot of implications, if you will. Thursday Night Football, though, gets going as we're recording this tonight, where we have primetime Chicago Bears yet again. The Seahawks and the Bears should be this is what Thursday Night Football was built on.
Yeah, it's peak Thursday Night Football activities right here.
Which, you know what? Next Christmas 2025, we are poised for the most diabolical Thursday night slate of all time because Christmas Day 2025 is on a Thursday.
Oh God, we're gonna get like 5 games.
We are going to get. I say every team is going to play on Thursday. We're not going to have Sunday games that week. The week before Christmas, that Sunday before Christmas, we're not going to have Sunday games. We're not going to have Sunday games after Christmas. It's going to be pure, unadulterated Thursday night football. Bring back the color rush unis. Bring back that puke gold for the Jaguars, the neon blue for the Titans. Give us what Thursday night football was built on.
Please.
But that is our Thursday night game, Seahawks Bears. And then we've got...
The only way it could be more Thursday Night Football if it was the Jags and Bears, and Eberflus was still head coach of the Bears.
Then we've got Saturday games as well. We've got Chargers Patriots at 1 p.m. on Saturday, Broncos Bengals, which should be a pretty fun game if I do say so myself. 4:30 on Saturday, and then we've got a nightcap game on Saturday as the Cardinals go to the Rams. In an NFC West showdown. We also had games on Christmas Day. Chiefs beat the Steelers 29-10. Ravens beat the Texans 31-2. Then on Sunday, it's Cowboys Eagles Kelly Green game at 1 p.m. We've got Panthers Buccaneers. The Buccaneers have to win in order to keep their postseason hopes alive.
That could be a great game, honestly.
Yes. Then we've got Jets Bills, Colts at the Giants, Raiders at the Saints. We've got the unprecedented Thursday night football game just on a Sunday. Titans at Jaguars. And then
you sure that's not a Thursday night game?
Our 4 o'clock games, there's only one worth caring about because 4:05 it's Dolphins at Browns, but then 4:25 we got Packers Vikings. And then Sunday night football, Falcons at the Commanders. Let's go Falcons. And then Monday Night Football concludes the week of 17 in the NFL, and it concludes the 2024 games. It is Lions 49ers in San Francisco or San Jose or Santa Clara, wherever the fuck they play. That's our schedule for the week of 17 out of 18 in the NFL. I think Broncos Bengals could be sneaky game of the week.
It could be because you've got great players in each of them having phenomenal seasons.
Both teams fighting for their playoff lives.
Yeah. And Joe Burrow is having one of the greatest seasons I've ever seen on a team that is not that great.
Yes.
So that could be game of the week. I mean, you can never discount Cowboys Eagles as a game of the week.
Correct.
Because, the hatred just runs so strong. Packers Vikings looking like an early favorite for
That
game
could
of the
also
week.
be game of the week.
Yeah. If we had the Niners of last year versus the Lions of this year, they could be game of the week. But that's going to be eh.
Yes.
Now let's go to some toilet bowl games.
Colts Giants.
Colts Giants is going to be horrific.
Raiders Saints.
Ugh, disgusting.
Titans
Dolphins
Jags.
Browns.
Dolphins Browns.
Titans Jags. Yeah, either the games are going to be really. This Falcons Commanders game could be really fun.
Yeah, Michael Penix.
Shout out former Hoosier right there. I lived in the same dorm as in my freshman year. What a guy. What a guy.
It's going to be a wild week in the NFL as we come down the stretch and gear up for the playoffs. Hopefully the Eagles can clinch the NFC East title, clinch the 2 seed. Just got to win.
We'll go to Rocky. Win.
Just win. And you know who won this week, Harrison?
Who won this week?
The Philadelphia 76ers, baby.
Goddamn right they did.
The Sixers, and the funny part of all of this, on Monday's episode, I said the season's over. There's no reason for anybody, unless it is your job, to be paying attention to this team anymore. The season's cooked. Jared McCain is out for the year. We're done. We're toast. It's over. And then the Sixers stumble on in to the old TD Garden up in that shithole city of Boston and take it to the Boston Celtics in prime time and win on Christmas Day against that fucking disgusting franchise, the Boston Celtics. 118 to 114. And my, oh my, isn't it awesome when your stars are healthy and they all play together and they get the job done. And it's great when Caleb Martin's shoulder is not hanging out of the socket by a thread of ligaments. And he goes and puts up a career high in threes, hits 7 threes in this game. Joel Embiid, 27-9 in just 31 minutes of play. Tyrese Maxey with a 33-12 double-double. And our sweet prince, our sweet baby boy, Yabu, with 12 points off the bench.
We're so back. We're so back.
Are the Sixers back?
We've never been more back. Are you kidding me? We're so back.
I'll say this. It has been a long time since I have been enthralled by a Sixers game. We have been hurt by this team so many times.
Too many times.
That game was one of the best Sixers games in the regular season I have watched in a very, very long time.
Yes, I agree. I mean, they just looked fun.
From building a 16-point lead, they had such a stranglehold, a Boston stranglehold, if you will, on this game. Yeah. And then they blew it. And then they came surging back to win. It was amazing to watch. It was amazing watching those piece of shit scumbag Boston fans with their Grinch costumes on look like absolute fools in the stands. I love Joel Embiid waving to the Boston fans as they exited the arena. Yeah. It was a perfect Christmas miracle for the Sixers to win this game. That is the best this team has looked all season. And I was thoroughly impressed just by the resilience and them not quitting in this game.
Yeah.
Now, the big thing that the Sixers need to do with Jared McCain being out, they need to upgrade the bench guard position ASAP, because the fact that Kyle Lowry, Kelly Oubre, and Reggie Jackson combined for less points than Gershon Yabusele had on his own is a major concern.
It
But
is.
the Sixers get a beautiful Christmas Day win against the Celtics in prime time for the entire world to see. And
Jason
this
Tatum,
was my
stop doing that.
this was my favorite thing to come out of the game too.
Yeah.
After one of the buckets that Tyrese Maxey made in the game, he yelled at the Celtics bench, "Get Hauser out of the game." And Hauser has been removed in favor of Jaylen Brown at that moment.
Incredible. I love it. Just
It's amazing.
keep dunking on him.
Amazing. I loved every second of it. I need them to build upon this, and this just in about half hour ago. This year was the most watched Christmas Day in 5 years for the NBA. The NBA delivered its most watched Christmas Day in 5 years with viewership up 84% versus last year across ABC, ESPN, ESPN2, Disney Plus, and ESPN Plus. The NBA on Christmas Day averaged 5.25 million viewers per game in the U.S. The match between the Lakers and Warriors, the most watched NBA regular season and Christmas Day game in 5 years, averaged 7.76 million viewers and peaked at 8.32 million viewers.
Wow.
I got to say, I've been very down on the NBA product over the past couple of seasons.
Yeah.
The NBA dropped its nuts on the table in terms of Christmas Day product versus the NFL this year.
Absolutely. And I can't lie. I loved the Disney thing that they had going on.
So good. The Sixers need to sign Goofy ASAP.
Yes. Well, no, Minnie Mouse can dunk that basketball like it.
And Donald Duck is a problem.
Donald Duck's a problem. The only person who wasn't that amazing was Mickey Mouse. Is Mickey Mouse fraudulent? I think he might be.
Mickey Mouse is just a system mouse.
Yeah, system mouse. Mickey Mouse Championship. It's called Mickey Mouse Championship for a reason.
The Sixers need to do whatever it takes to sign Goofy ASAP.
Yeah. Goofy and Daisy Duck balled out too.
Hoopers. But genuinely, I had so much fun watching NBA basketball yesterday. Yeah. More so than I did watching those NFL games.
Well, also because those NFL games were snoozers.
Yes, that is a big part of it for sure.
We had a ruined scoregami, which we could have had a scoregami, and also the fact that the Texans' only points of the night were a safety is just pathetic.
Yeah, it's brutal.
And then, who likes watching the Chiefs win apart from people from Kansas City? Nobody.
I have to say, that Lakers-Warriors game, I watched the tail end of it. Please appreciate what we have in LeBron James and Steph Curry, everyone. It's not going to be around for that much longer, but my God, was that game at the end so fucking cool. Hearing Mike Breen yell, "Blocked by James," against the Warriors brought me back a decade.
Yeah. Oh my God, it's almost been a decade.
Almost a decade.
Oh my God. There's no way. It's all. Oh my. You mean to tell me one of the greatest finals of all time was already almost 10 years ago?
Almost 10 years ago. That was 2016.
Good gracious. That hurts.
Yeah.
That hurts a lot. Well, and it's also coming up on the 10-year anniversary of that tweet that's like, thank God LeBron's almost 30.
Yeah.
Or LeBron's
This won't last too much longer.
It's lasted a little bit longer than
that. Bit longer.
Hey, the way he's playing, I can see him not hanging him up until he's 50.
Steph was cold-blooded. The way that he was hitting those threes in clutch, the only thing that game missed out on was one of two things.
Yeah.
LeBron hitting the game-winning shot.
Yeah.
Or that game going to overtime.
Hey, shout out DK though. That kid can ball. He was mad about LeBron making fun of him for his Tennessee Volunteers getting their asses whooped by Ohio State.
I wanted that game to go to overtime so bad because I was just enjoying watching the back and forth.
Yeah.
And it only would have been peak if LeBron hit the game winner instead of Austin Reeves. But LeBron with the mic drop on the post-game interview saying, I love the NFL, but today's our day.
Yeah. He's not wrong. Christmas
To
Day.
which LeBron also had a great tweet too. Bring back the Christmas Day uniforms.
Yes, for the love of God.
What are we doing?
Those, I mean, do you know how many uniforms you would sell? Do you know how many jerseys you would push? Every single NBA fan across the nation from 4 years old to 75 years old would be lining up to get one of those jerseys.
Bring back Christmas Day uniforms for the NBA. That has to happen.
Absolutely.
But yeah, I mean, the Christmas Day NBA games literally told the NFL to go fuck itself.
Yeah. Christmas Day is for the NBA.
The parody, the fun.
Yeah.
All the games were awesome.
Christmas Day is for the NBA. New Year's Day is for the NHL.
And Thanksgiving is for the NFL.
Exactly. And
know your holiday.
Yeah. Stick to your holiday and don't try and encroach.
Halloween is for baseball.
Yep.
Thanksgiving is for football.
Yep.
Christmas is for the NBA.
Yep.
New Year's is for college.
And hockey. Because the Winter Classic is phenomenal.
It's easy. Just stay in your lane.
Yeah.
Stay in your lane. But the Sixers get that win. And you know what goes great with a win, Harrison? Kenwood Beer.
It goes phenomenal.
Beer partner of Underground Sports Philadelphia. It's a refreshing light beer, just 4.1% ABV, 120 calories, just 8 grams of carbs. You still have time to order Kenwood Beer to your home this holiday season. For December only, they're offering home delivery to Pennsylvania, New Jersey, and Delaware residents. And while they can't guarantee a delivery date, if you order in December, it'll get ordered to your home. Go to kenwoodbeer.com, and it's available in the 6-pack 12-ounce cans, the 12-pack 12-ounce cans, and the 12-pack 19.2-ounce cans, a.k.a. the Big Kenny. You can also get the brand new, and Kenwood Beer sent these to us, the golf glass, now available. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. And you can play beer golf with them and learn how to play at kenwoodbeer.com. Use the Kenny tracker at kenwoodbeer.com as well. So you've got Kenny's on tap in the Philadelphia, Pittsburgh, Maryland, New Jersey, and Delaware areas. And you can also get it at your local liquor stores in those markets. kenwoodbeer.com. Must be 21 or older to do so. And, of course, please drink responsibly. I mean, it is one of those things. It's like it's a fun win for the Sixers.
Yes.
Does it necessarily mean they are back? They still have a lot to do, in my opinion, to deem themselves back. But nonetheless,
a certain star's got to prove that he can play in these games and consistently stay healthy.
Correct. And, there's a lot of work to be done. There's a lot of games to be played. And now the Sixers go out west to wrap up 2024 and start 2025 with a West Coast road trip that includes games against the Jazz, the Trailblazers, the Kings, and the Warriors. And then they finish the road trip in Brooklyn against the Nets next Saturday before they come home for 3 straight on a Monday, Wednesday, and Friday? Yes, Friday. Math is hard. Against the Suns, the Wizards, and the Pelicans. So a lot of work to be done, but the Sixers are they're on the nice list right now for that win against the Celtics because I fucking hate the city of Boston. I hate the Celtics. I hate their fans. I hate that team. That fucking cheeky little bastard that they call a mascot. He's the worst.
Teams with leprechaun mascots are just the worst. Take it from someone who just had his college football team lose to a team with a leprechaun mascot.
The worst. But the Sixers get my good graces for at least the time being
Yes.
with that win against the Celtics. And you know who's always in my good graces no matter what, Harrison? That is our friends at FOCO, the leaders in forever collectibles. And you can gear up with our wish list that is in the description with our friends at FOCO, because recently FOCO has been releasing lots of new merchandise and products for all fans to show off their favorite team, including our Philadelphia 76ers. They've got the team overalls, the Joel Embiid big head bobblehead, the friendship bracelets, the team gnome, the bottle cap wall sign, the action backpack, and my personal favorite, the team Sherpa plush throw blanket. Check out FOCO's website and everything they have to offer this holiday season. They are truly, truly the best. You can browse by fandom, whether it's NFL, MLB, NBA, NHL, college, soccer, or the entertainment industry, which includes the likes of some of your favorite Nickelodeon, Warner Brothers Discovery, DC, WWE, horror films, you name it, FOCO has it for you. Use our link in the description and check out everything FOCO's got to offer this holiday season and beyond, and shop for your favorite sports fan and get their forever collectibles upgraded today with our friends at FOCO. And we thank FOCO for being a proud partner of the pod. The Phillies, they're making headlines left and right. I talked about Max Kepler and Jesus Luzardo on Monday, and right after they went and signed a brand new pitcher, and that is Joe Ross, now a Philadelphia Philly. And that is somebody that fits the description of what Dave Dombrowski was talking about in his press conference that I was lucky to be a part of last Friday, where they were looking for a guy who could have the flexibility to start and relieve, kind of your Spencer Turnbull of the season, if you will.
Yep.
I like Joe Ross. I think he's a guy who has like made a sustainable career for himself, has played 7 years in Major League Baseball. He opted out of the 2020 season, but spent the first 6 years of his career in Washington, won a World Series with them in 2019, which that gave me the ick saying that the Nationals have won a World Series. Spent last year in Milwaukee, pitched to a 3.77 ERA in 25 games, started 10 of those games, and he's a sustainable pitcher. He's a guy that if you need innings eaten, if somebody can't go deep into a game, you bring him in. It's going to be fine. I don't hate this signing at all. I think Joe Ross is a fine pitcher. He's a fine signing. He's also just 31 years old. And I want to find this stat here. He's a guy that probably doesn't. He might come into play in October. You know, he had a 1.67 ERA and a 9 Ks per 9 rate last year as a reliever. That's pretty good. Pretty damn good. I view him certainly more as a reliever because I think the little bit of sample size you get from Joe Ross and him as a starter last year for Milwaukee, 47 innings pitched, 50 hits, a 4.98 ERA, a 4.10 FIP, and a 1.45 whip, 18 walks, 39 strikeouts. Joe Ross is it's okay. You know, it's like that's like almost your swing starter, but him as a reliever, 27 innings pitched, 22 hits allowed, a 1.67 ERA. Now, here's the interesting part. It was a 3.35 FIP. Your fielding independent pitching is more so a telltale sign of the type of pitcher you are, but his FIP being lower as a reliever is good.
Yeah.
Just kind of got lucky in the ERA department more so. A 1.22 whip, 11 walks, 27 strikeouts. Much better as a reliever. So I like it as somebody who can give you some length out of the bullpen.
Yeah.
I still want them to re-sign Jeff Hoffman. If they can get Jeff Hoffman, this offseason's a success.
I agree. I mean, it seems like the ownership heard that we wanted a bunch of signings, a bunch of trades, and they're like, screw it. Here's a massive week, and enjoy these new guys. So I'm liking how our offseason's looking so far.
You need to sign Jeff Hoffman, and if you do, I'm happy with the offseason. You guys know how much of a fan of Max Kepler I am. I said on Monday's episode, Jesus Luzardo could go down as the best trade Dave Dombrowski has made to date, being the president of baseball ops for the Phillies. That's not to discount what Brandon Marsh has done. That's not to discount, what Michael Lorenzen did. But Luzardo is a guy who could be on this team for a very long time. And again, continues to prove the point. Nobody saw Joe Ross coming. Nobody saw Jesus Luzardo coming. Nobody saw Max Kepler signing. Dave Dombrowski is the king of shadows. He operates in the darkness. He is like Bane. And when you least expect it, you get a signing.
Yeah.
That's how I'm approaching the whole Jeff Hoffman situation. When you least expect it, something's going to come. And I'm excited so far about it. And here's the thing too. The Phillies did not need to overspend this offseason. They did not need to go and acquire star power this offseason. The Phillies have stars. You have Bryce Harper. You have Trey Turner. You have Alec Boehm. You have Bryson Stott on this team. You have Castellanos. You have Schwarber. You have Real Muto. You have Brandon Marsh. You have a lineup that can win. They proved that to you last year when they won 95 games. Now you just need to win consistently, not fall off like you did last year towards the tail end, and you need to show up in the playoffs. You have the pitching. They also came out and said Andrew Painter, more than likely a second half of the year kind of addition to the team. I like that move a lot. You kind of assess where you are after the trade deadline, have him come in July, use his innings July to the end of the year. Smart move.
Yep.
The Phillies are like 6.5 deep at starting pitching now. Wheeler, Nola, Luzardo, Ranger, Christopher Sanchez, Andrew Painter, Joe Ross, Taijuan Walker. Like, you've got horses in the stable to pitch. Now it's up to the stars that have been on this roster for a few years to show up when it's time to hit.
Absolutely. And I think this might be the year we do it. Knock on wood, but it really feels like they're playing the field this year to get themselves to a point where they can win the World Series.
They're still a top 3 team in the National League too. Like,
easy.
The Dodgers are obviously loaded, but they just lost Walker Buehler. He signed with the Red Sox, so that eliminates one of their best starting pitching options. They're not certain Ohtani's going to be ready to start the year as a pitcher as well, which is concerning for them, I would say. Yeah. And on top of that, the Phillies beat the Dodgers last year 5 out of 6 games. So, you have what it takes to go up against them. And then you look at the rest of the National League. The Braves will be okay. I don't know who they're going to have starting outside of Spencer Strider. The Mets, who's pitching for them? Sean Manaea and Kodai Senga? Yeah. That doesn't scare me particularly. And then the rest of the National League, like, are we talking about the Giants? Are we talking about the Diamondbacks, the Padres? Nobody in the NL Central scares me.
Yeah. No,
like they are still a top 5 team in all of baseball. They're a top 2 team in the National League. And I'm excited for this season when it rolls around, because I think it's going to be absolutely another fun and just insane season with this baseball team, and they have the ability to win the World Series. Not many teams can say that, and the Phillies are one of those who consistently for the past couple of years have the ability to win the World Series, and now it's on the Stars to show up and do it.
Yep, and I think they'll get it done this time. I really hope so. At least.
I would love it. And I also love Tomahawk Shades. Our Philly segment brought to you by Tomahawk Shades, the best small batch eyewear in the game. From sunglasses to blue light glasses to prescription lenses, Tomahawk Shades has you covered. Check out their entire catalog, guys. I love their sunglasses. I've been wearing them like crazy. I got these ones that have these amber lenses that make it feel like daytime all the time. It's amazing. I feel like Daredevil walking the streets of Hell's Kitchen a little bit with the amber colored shades. I wear the blue light glasses whenever I am editing, whenever I'm watching TV, whenever I'm watching our favorite sports teams to protect my eyes. Go to TomahawkShades.com or download the Tomahawk Shades app in the App Store, Google Play Store. And when you go to check out, use code USP for 25% off your next order from our friends at Tomahawk Shades. That's tomahawkshades.com, or download the Tomahawk Shades app in the App Store, Google Play Store, and use code USP for 25% off your next order. Harrison, the Wings are back in action this weekend. They are out in Saskatchewan to take on the Rush, and the Rush are having themselves quite a season, to say the least. They've started 3-0. But the Wings come away with the Vegas sweep this year, as they won 15-9 in their last match against the Vegas Desert Dogs. They won at home as well, and they're playing good lacrosse, and I'm excited for them to come out of this break that they had and go up against Saskatchewan, a team that has been scoring the ways that they need to, that has been playing great defense, and it's going to be a battle at the faceoff stripe because Jake Naso has had a phenomenal start to his rookie season for Saskatchewan. He's doing things in the echelon of Trevor Baptiste type flow for Saskatchewan, which is just insane. But I'm excited for this team. They're clicking on offense. They've scored 15 or more goals in every single game this year, and they're going to be a fun watch at 8 p.m. on Saturday out in Saskatchewan. I love that it's an 8 o'clock start and not some crazy honking 10 p.m. start, but it should be a doozy of a game. DJ and I are going to be breaking down the entire NLL slate on OTB this week for you guys, so definitely check that out. But the Wings are back in action Saturday, December 28th, and then they're back at home on Saturday, January 11th at 1 p.m. at the Wells Fargo Center against the Calgary Roughnecks. So definitely get out to a game this year because they are so much fun, and it's going to just continue to build and build, and I'm looking forward to Saturday night at 8 p.m. watching the Wings against the Rush. Last bit here, too. I teased it and talked about it on Monday's episode, but now that Harrison's here, Top Ends is back.
Yes, it is.
Top Ends is back. We will be recording our first episode this weekend, and it will drop January 1st. We have some people that will be making regular appearances with us that we are very excited about. But Harrison, it's very funny. I was thinking about this too. Now that you are back on this show once a week, you're making appearances on Streamer Season again. And now you're going to be co-hosting Top Ends with me in the revival era of Top Ends. I was like, Harrison's doing more than he did with his internship with us.
Hey, that's what happens when you get done with school and you're just like, hey, I want to get back into this. I want to have a good time doing it, and I'm available more. So
it's so funny. I was like, he's hopping on every show. He's just like me for real. But Top Ends is back, and like I mentioned on Monday's episode for you guys, if Matt and Dom want the show back and want to be back in hosting duties, it's their show. We are going to relinquish the show to them. But the IP is an Underground Sports Philadelphia original. We're going to use IP. We're not going to let IP go by the wayside. And now that I'm fully invested in the Premier League, Harrison has been invested in the Premier League for as long as I've known him and even before then. And we're just going to have fun with it. We're going to grow my fandom, and I'm going to learn a shit ton more about how everything operates and works, and what better way to start it than with the transfer window.
No better way to start it. No better way.
Because I don't know how any of it works. I just know that this transfer window is much more like a trade deadline than the off season is per se. And as the episodes go on, we'll have my fandom announcement. And I think, Harrison, since the episode will be coming out January 1st, the first day of the transfer window, I think first episode of Top Ends, what better way to kick it off than having an elimination segment?
I think that would be the best way to do it. Just knock out.
We're gonna knock off two teams off the rip.
We're gonna knock off two teams.
We'll Squid Game style. They're done.
Yeah. Dun dun. And then
we'll narrow it down to 4. And then we'll go to 3. And then we'll have the premier decision for everyone. can't wait. I can't wait.
It's been a fun Premier League season thus far.
I have it on right now in the studio, so that just shows you how invested I am in watching the Premier League.
Of course, Leicester couldn't hold on the way I hoped them to.
Yeah.
That's
the
tough.
Top Bins is back, and we will be. So I believe our recording schedule, the way we've talked about it, because Harrison and I record everything on Wednesdays, we'll be recording Top Bins on Wednesdays. Thursday, Friday release date, more than likely, makes sense because that's kind of what we used to do with Matt and Dom. But if anything changes, you guys will obviously know. But typically, we'll be recording on Wednesday nights, I think.
Yeah. Yeah. Breaking news real quick. The HBCU, Delaware State, is finalizing an agreement with Eagles legend Deshaun Jackson to become their new head coach.
Whoa!
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, my God.
Wow.
That's crazy. So Mike Vick becomes the head coach of Norfolk State, and Deshaun Jackson's like, hey, that's my teammate. Let me see if I can do that too.
That's sick.
Wow. Good for Deshaun.
That's dope.
That's a hell of a way to leave off the episode right there.
Hell yeah, D-Jack. But yeah, Top Bins will be recorded every Wednesday and then typically drop on Thursday or Friday. And I think the drop times will be a little more on par with what I always wanted them to be. So Top Bins will drop midnight Eastern time on the release date. So that way it's 6 a.m. in England and Italy and everything when we're talking about Serie A and the Premier League. I think that makes the most sense. We've been trying to do that with our F1 Underground podcast, which also, stay tuned, their rebrand is coming. January 1st, 2025. So definitely keep an eye out for some changes on social with F1 Underground, which I'm very excited about as well. But I think we're going to be trying to drop the episodes midnight Eastern, which means it'll be 6 a.m. across the pond. And that way we kind of grow the audience and make this thing work. And it's going to be a lot of fun. We have a lot planned with Top Bins being back and doing a ton with it. And I like adding things to my plate and keeping myself busy, and that's what I do. So Top Bins will be back, and we'll be recording our first episode on Saturday, and it'll drop on New Year's Day for you guys, ready to rock and roll into the new year with Top Bins being back and hopefully never going away ever again.
Yes, sir.
So, with that being said, make sure you guys are following us on the socials across the board. Subscribe to the pod, Apple, Spotify, wherever you get your podcasts. Subscribe to the Underground Sports Philadelphia YouTube channel. Leave a like. Get us to 900 subscribers. Subscribe. Leave us a voicemail. Voicemail link is in the description. And this show is proudly presented by the City of Vineland. And whether you're a company looking to expand, relocate, or you're a new business startup, selecting the right location is critical to your success. Vineland, New Jersey offers both an affordable business location and an excellent quality of life. The city's economic development department is a one-stop source for moving your project through the development and approval process. And their goal is to make this process as smooth as possible and to provide the fastest turnaround times in the region. If you're considering potential locations for your operation, contact the Vineland Economic Development Team at 856-794-4100. That's 856-794-4100. Vineland, New Jersey, where it's always growing season. And big thank you to Security 21 Security Systems and Paul J. Gillespie Incorporated for their continued support of this podcast. And this has been episode number 702 of Underground Sports Philadelphia. For Harrison, I'm KB. Go Birds. Let's win the division. And I'll see you guys on Monday with another episode, hopefully talking about an Eagles win and a whole lot more. But we'll catch you guys on the next one. But until then, we're getting the heck up out of here. Happy holidays. And we are signing off. Peace.